Now let's enjoy The Layers by Stanley Kunis. Stanley Kunis, who is described as the doyen of American poetry, is of Russian Jewish descent. He had a childhood of penury or poverty, especially due to his father's death 6 weeks prior to his birth. His poems show the influence of 20th century poets such as W. H. Auden, Robert Lowell, James Wright, Mark Doty, Louis Gluck, so on and so forth. His early poems, which had a philosophical and intellectual bent, are written in iambic pentameter, whereas his later poems show a shift to free verse. In this particular poem, the poet reworks on the thoughts he collected from his own lives and also from the lives he witnessed. Starting off with the poem, I have walked through many lives, some of them my own, and am not who I was, though some principle of being abides, from which I struggle not to stray. Years back, or before he experienced those lives, he was kind of a different person. He underwent a transformation, but still sticks to the leading principle of his life, which he had framed beforehand. Though some principle of being abides, from which I struggle not to stray. Though he has undergone the transformation, he hasn't deflected or he hasn't moved out of the right course of his life or from that principle which he had set as the key point or the center of his life. He tries his level best or even his struggles not to depart from his very foundation. When I look behind, as I am compelled to look before I can gather strength to proceed on my journey. As it is said, he gathers the endurance, the strength of his journey from his past by looking back, introspecting and pondering on previous experiences. This is true about the lives of most people. I see the milestones dwindling toward the horizon and the slow fires trailing the abandoned campsites. On turning back, the speaker casts his eyes upon the spectacles of milestones turning small towards the horizon. As the speaker catches a sight of milestones against the horizon, he feels the milestones getting diminished. The slow fires or embers breaking out from the campfire at the campsites also mark the scene. The fire particles, let's imagine, are hanging down along the ground or coming out from the leftover campfires. Beyond the literal sense, these lines tap at the brevity of life. For the speaker, who is probably the fag end of his life, most of the milestones or important events in his life might seem different. Milestones are stones like signboard on the roadside. Thoughts have taken a turn now. The speaker refocuses on the horizon or the ultimate end, which is not possibly the physical world. The poet is evidently or tangibly getting metaphysical, expressing his thoughts on the horizon, which can metaphorically be a meeting point of material and the spiritual or the life and the death. Again, slow fires trailing from the abandoned campsites. This can be interpreted as the sufferings or mishaps which are the outcome of human actions. Abandoned campsites here are symbolic of revelry and celebratory lifestyle, which has always been part of human life. But all these are followed by scavenger angels, which stand for some natural leveling or balancing process. Scavenger birds are rendered the heavy wings. Destiny, nature, fate or whatever is always keeping a tight rein on human lives, which are therefore, so to speak, a mixture of happiness and sorrows, of ups and downs. Angels are messengers from God and therefore represent the positively urgent. Scavengers are honored as the angels. They are unfailingly needed for a natural cleansing or purgation. Oh, I have made myself a tribe out of my true affections, and my tribe is scattered. His growing age has made him expand like a tribe in a psychological dimension. His selfless affection accommodated in his heart plenty of people like a tribe. But sadly, all those got scattered or dissipated as the inevitability of life. Death or calamities or displacement might have made them scatter. The next line, how shall the heart be reconciled to his feast of losses? Actually, he is incapacitated or totally weakened with the loss of his familiar minds. He does not know how to reconcile with or how to achieve a compromise with the feast of the losses, how to accept the unpleasant realities. His heart holds unstinting tears, love, and memories of the dead people. Lost mentions those who are lost in death. Feast speaks of abundance. Here, there is a succession of deaths he has witnessed to which he cannot reconcile. In a rising wind, the manic dust of my friends, those who fell along the way, bitterly stings my face. The wind-blown dust of his friends, those who lost their life in the course, hurts his face or his mind. Even the dust is manic, dynamic or excited, bearing their feelings. The reminiscences, feelings or vibes of his lost friends implanted in his mind, especially of those who had to suffer heavy setbacks in life, now saddens his mind. Yet I turn, exulting somewhat, with my will intact to go wherever I need to go. Yes, he's making a turn in his direction. He now stealthily escapes from the anguish which is intruding his mind. He tells that he has turned somewhat happy, and with his will intact or undamaged, hopefully he can reach his direct destination. He realizes that keeping himself cheerless will do him no good. And every stone on the road precious to me. Moreover, he says that every stone on the road is precious to him. He highly values every stone or every small impediment in the path of his life, as he believes all these together make up his path. In my darkest night, when the moon was covered and I roamed through wreckage, a nimbus clouded voice directed me. In his darkest night, when he was roaming or wandering through the debris of some rock or wood or the remains dumped there, he then listened to a voice which emanated from a nimbus or a circle covered with light. It was clouded in the sense the light and the sound were undifferentiated or could not be understood separately. This must be hinting at the worst time of his life when he got guided by a celestial voice. Live in the layers, not on the litter. The voice sounded like this: live in the layers, not on the litter. It implies that he has to remain on the multiple levels of experiences provided by life so that he can get the best out of that. One should get with the program. One should not let his mind impacted by negative feelings. It is worthless to live in the garbage or to feed on the negative emotions which can never rejuvenate the spirit. Though I lack the art to decipher it. His states bear his inappropriacy to decode the message. He has not been knowledgeable to make out the meaning of the voice he thinks. Though I lack the art to decipher it, no doubt the next chapter in my book of transformations is already written. I am not done with my changes. But now he has picked up the threads and turns to writing the additional chapters in his book of transformations. He has decided to remodel his life in the light of happy and sorrowful experiences he underwent and the transformation thereafter. He has several more chapters to be added to his book of transformations, which is already written. But he is expectant of much more changes to him as long as he is alive. The poem is rendered as a cautionary note against keeping up a superficial attitude towards life.